Alrighty, guys, welcome. This is your host, ID Jester. Thanks for checking out our live stream tonight. So excited to bring you guys some brand new series here, brand new replay we're going to be doing here. Max Cornelius is in the house. How you doing, Max? Hope all is well with you tonight. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be introducing a brand new baseball series that I'm going to be running here on my channel. So very excited about this. So I guess let's get right into it and start talking about it. So it's kind of been inspired by a few things that um, some of the other sports simmers are doing. A lot of them will if you look at baseball demos and tabletop baseball and uh, baseball demos and Espo baseball strat, they're all doing their own replays, and it kind of got me inspired. I've been doing a couple of my replays as well, but really haven't delved into a project very much. And Higher Ground Gaming as well as Al Red Sox fan. Of course, I'm not trying to forget everyone. If I'm forgetting you out there, I apologize ahead of time. But it's kind of been inspired by actually what Higher Ground Gaming is doing on his channel, where he's taken a couple of his favorite players, and of course, since he's a big Boston fan, he's been replaying all their games from those players. So he's taken, like, say, Rob Gronkowski from the Patriots and replaying all the games that Rob Gronkowski played. He's taken Carl Yastrzemski and replaying the Boston Red Sox games that he played. And I was kind of debating about who would I find interesting enough to really delve into and retry and find out, spend the time and effort to actually go through and do a replay for this person. So I said, well, it's got to be somebody that I really like, and somebody that, because I don't want to get like, a lot of these projects, especially the bigger ones, they usually take 50, 100, 200 games to do. And I don't want to get 20 games in. Like some of my other projects, I've been like 15, 20, 30 games in. I even was doing a 2016 replay of the Baltimore Orioles and got in about 65 games or so and kind of got burned down on it and stuff. So I'm like, well, I got to find something that really interests me and really want to do so I don't get like a quarter of the way in and then bum out on it. So this is something I really want to try. So again, Higher Ground Gaming has taken a couple of his favorite players and decided to replay all the games they played in. And I was like, well, okay, sounds like a really good idea. And who do I find interesting enough that I would like to, simulate the games that he played, especially in baseball? If you're new to my channel or you don't know much about me, I really wasn't much into baseball growing up as a kid. In fact, really up until about 5 years ago, I never watched baseball and never really followed baseball really closely. I never really did much with it. So it's interesting when I'm a sports simmer because all these guys talk about, oh yeah, I remember this game and I remember the 1974 Dodgers and they were doing this and that. And I am like out of the loop because, as I said, I didn't grow up with it very much. I never followed it very much. So when these guys are talking about all these past games, I'm kind of out on the, kind of out of really not knowing what's going on. So I decided, well, it's got to be somebody I really like, I find interesting. And so I decided, I put my head together and thought about what would I like to do. And I come up with a great idea, I think. And hopefully no one else has done this, and I don't mean to try and step on anybody else's toes. I know there's a lot of sports simmers out there, but there's somebody that I find that is very, very interesting. And I am going to be doing a replay of one of his seasons. In fact, his best Major League Baseball season. So anybody in the chat want to take a guess of who or what I am talking about? Feel free to give me your opinions from just what I talked about. And if you have any thoughts about who I might be talking about, let me know ahead of time before I announce what this project is going to be. I'll give you guys a few minutes to catch up on the chat here and just see if anyone has any thoughts. As I mentioned, I've decided on a person. He's probably my top 5 baseball players of all time. Although when you talk to most people, he's probably not within their top, say, 100 people. Because he's not, let's see, he wasn't, for me, he's like the most interesting baseball player ever. But he wasn't the best baseball player. Let's just put it that way. He only played for how many seasons did he play? Let's see. That's let's see. How many seasons did he play? He only played 8 seasons. And in those 8 seasons, he only played 25 games in one season. He played 116 in another season. He played 124 in another season. He played 135 in one season. He played 111 in one season. He played 23, 85, and 75. So you can see, I mean, like half the seasons he's played, he only played in a quarter of the games. But for me, I think he's like one of the most interesting baseball players that ever lived. And I'll kind of give you the era that I'm talking about. We're talking about the late 80s, early 90s. So I don't know if that'll give it away or not. But the late 80s, early 90s. And in fact, the season we're going to be replaying, or I should say, we're not going to be replaying all the games of the season. We're only going to be replaying this team's games, and we're going to compare the stats that he gets through the replay and compare him to what he did in real life. The season we are going to be replaying and the team we're going to be replaying is from 1989. So 1989, which happened to be this player's best season ever. So I don't know if that might give it away. Probably not. Clinton Parks is in the house. Hello, Clinton Parks. I am just going through some kind of a intro here into I'm going to be kind of doing what Higher Ground Gaming has done on his channel. I'm taking one of my all-time favorite baseball players and I'm replaying one of his seasons. In fact, his best season, which happens to be 1989, and we're going to be replaying that season. And Max Cornelius nails it on the head right there. Wow, Max Cornelius, awesome job there. I don't know if it would give it away or not, but yes, that's right. We're going to be replaying the 1989 season for Bo Jackson. Bo knows baseball. That's it. So we're going to be looking at the Kansas City Royals from 1989. That is correct. Good job, Max Cornelius, and also Clinton Parks. Well done. I didn't know. I didn't want to like just give it away, but that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the Kansas City 1989 season. And we're going to replay Bo Jackson's games from his best season. And as I mentioned, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. He's not like, if you talk to, oh, well, who's your top, 20 baseball players? I don't think anybody would say, oh, Bo Jackson. He's obviously in the top 20, but he only had really a couple good seasons. But man, oh man, I was watching all day as I decided what I was going to do here. And I was watching all day some video highlights, like Bo Jackson's best highlights. Um, and some of the things that he did was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let's talk about his 1989 season and why I'm chosen the 1989 season. Well, obviously, it was the season he played the most games in. As I mentioned, he only played in 8 seasons, but one season only played 25 games. That was in 1986. In 1991, he only played in 23 games. In 1993, he played in 85. In 1994, he played in 75. The most he ever played in any season was in 1989. That was 135 games. So let's talk about what he did in 1989, which was obviously his best season. And I think, if he would have stayed healthy, just imagine what he would have done as a full-time player. That's true, as Quentin Park says. If he had played full-time, imagine what he could have done. So in 1989, let's talk about, he was an all-star, obviously. And in fact, if you recall, in 1989, he was the all-star MVP. So being a part-time player, and he only played, going into 1989, he only played, let's see, it was like 130 games going into the 1989 season. No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It was 200 and about 240 games going into the 1989 season. So he wasn't very seasoned, obviously, but he became an all-star. And of course, if everybody remembers, in 1989, his first at-bat, first batter of the game, he got the most votes to go to the all-star game. But as the first batter of the game, he ended up hitting a home run on his first at-bat there, became MVP of the game. Let's see what else happened in 1989. So his slugging percentage in 1989 was .495. So he's ranked sixth in slugging percentage. In 1989, he scored 86 runs, so he was in the top 10. He was 10th in runs scored. He also had 32 home runs in 1989, which was fourth in the league. And in 1989, he also batted in 105 runs. And that made him fourth in the league with all of that. He also struck out 172 times, which actually put him as the number one strikeout person. He had stolen 81%. He had a stolen base percentage of 81%. And when you combine, and I don't know exactly the stats they use, but if you combine power and speed numbers, his grand total was 28.7. Again, I don't know what numbers they use for that, but if you combine power and speed, he was ranked number one in the league. He was also ranked third in home runs per at-bats. So he had a home run every 16.1 at-bats, which placed him third in the league. In 1989, he was the number one player in the league for assists from left field. So he had 11 assists from left field. In 1989, he also committed only 8 errors, and was ranked third in least amount of errors for a left fielder in 1989. And then in double plays turned, he was ranked second with 2 double plays turned in as a left fielder. Um, let's see, 1989, he was also had the 4th highest range factor for 9 innings as a left fielder. So again, I'm getting these statistics off of Baseball Reference. Um, so I I don't know how some of the numbers are awarded or whatever, but there you go. For his 1989 season was an awesome, awesome season. Some of the amazing plays he actually made in 1989 were just amazing. We're going to go through these. When we get to those games, I'm going to try and have a couple highlights. There was a situation where he threw a player out um, at home when he was standing at the warning track, threw the ball and landed in the catcher's mitt at home plate without hitting the ground. Just an amazing, amazing baseball player, and it's a damn shame that he got hurt because I think he would have had obviously between his baseball and his football, um, an amazing career anyways. Just I think he was at one point, and I don't know if this is still true, but I remember he had 19 covers in Sports Illustrated at one point. I think he was the number one player that, the most times appearing on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. And yeah, so there we are. We're going to be replaying Bo Jackson, the 1989 season. Started 135 games, had 135 hits, 32 home runs, a 256 batting average, on base percentage of 310, a slugging percentage of 495, and all the other statistics we just talked about. And as Max Cornelius says in the chat, he was fun to watch. He definitely was fun to watch. So we're going to be replaying it, and we're going to actually be replaying it in Inside Pitch Baseball. So we're going to be doing that here. I even went out today and earlier today and bought the 1989 season. I also bought the 2011 season, but I bought the 1989 season just so we could do this replay and check him out. So I'm glad to introduce a brand new series again, kind of piggybacking on what Higher Ground Gaming did with he's going to replay some of his favorite players' games. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to be using Inside Pitch Baseball. I thought about other options instead of Inside Pitch Baseball, like, I was thinking about maybe Cards and Dice Status Pro or Payoff Pitch, or something like that, but none of those seasons are available uh, in Status Pro Baseball or Payoff Pitch Baseball. Internet Baseball League doesn't go back that far either, so I was kind of limited in what I could do, so it had to be like a computer version. So I thought about what computer version I was going to do. I could either do like Out of the Park, or I could do uh, let's see, Diamond Mine. There's lots of different choices, but I decided to go ahead and do Inside Pitch because I like the system. I like the way the game is set up. So I decided to do it in Inside Pitch Baseball, anyways. So there you go. So what I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to add a. Let's see, how do I do this? Device. Let's go to screen. There we go. Let's see if I can highlight just the screen for you guys. There we go. And then maybe make this a little bit bigger, like that. There we go. And then I can get rid of this other desktop, right? Yep. All right. Is that a little bit better? Can you guys see that a little bit better? Let me know when it catches up to you. So we're replaying the 1989 Kansas City Royals, and we're going to be focusing in on obviously Bo Jackson and all the other players that happened to be on the Royals in 1989. I'm not a Kansas City Royals fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a Bo Jackson fan. Um, they have a 20 for 20 on Bo Jackson, and I think it's really, really good if you haven't seen that to watch that game or watch that show because it's really good. It shows Bo Jackson and talks about it, and even go back and watch the videos. I don't know Bo Jackson. I've never met him. I don't know anything other than what I see on the internet or whatever. But he has like this home down, down to earth kind of personality. It seems like he's got like all of his trophies in like the back room of his house. Digital Diamond. I could have done Digital Diamond as well. Yeah. But I mean, it's not like he's, flaunting on his success from, back in the day. He's just kind of hanging out in his house and, he's into hunting and fishing and stuff like that. And uh, if you go back and watch his videos when he scores a touchdown, he just puts the ball on the ground and trots off the field. He's not banging his chest and holding his hands up like look at me, and I respect that. I like that a lot, so I think that's why I liked him back in the day. He never thought he was bigger than the game. He always talked about the team as opposed to what he was doing, and yeah, so I've always liked him, and I was so sorry to see him get hurt. And anyways, let's get to it. Let's get into the first game of the replay. So we're going to be playing the 2089 Kansas City, and we're going to start off. Here's the schedule so you guys can see what's coming up. So they play 3 games at home against Toronto. Then they play 3 games at home against Boston. Then they play 3 games at home against Baltimore. So 3 series in a row at home. Toronto, then Boston, then Baltimore. Then, interesting enough, they go on the road for 3 series, and guess who they play? Toronto, Baltimore, and Boston. That's a weird start to the schedule, but that is the way it happened. So they play at home against Toronto, Boston, and Baltimore, and then they go on the road and play Toronto, Baltimore, and Boston. And then, of course, after that, they play the Yankees and then Milwaukee. So 1989, and we're going to be playing against Toronto. We're going to use as played lineups, and we will do that strategy. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave strategy on. I'm going to disable the sound. Oops. See if I can scoot this up so you guys can see it. Dice animations I'll leave on injuries. I'm going to play without injuries because I want to try and use the historic lineups, and then that way if there's injuries in the game. That's an interesting question. I don't know if they mean injuries that happened during the game. Well, I guess that could span. Yeah, I'm going to turn injuries off. Auto pull pitchers when they get tired. Yes or no? I'm going to say yes. Rear plays, yes. Use roster players, yes. And I think that'll be it for that. All right, so it looks like it's Jimmy Key against Mark Grubicza. Biza? B-I-C would be Bixa. Grubicza? Mark Grubicza? All right, starting lineups. Looks like we're missing a right fielder there. I'm going to have to adjust the screen resolution size. Hang on. Let me get this set up and then I'll do that. So we're going to put in Junior Felix. Go to the home lineup. And then play ball. And once it comes up, I'll have a better understanding of what size I need to make it. There we go. All right, let me adjust your guys' screen capture. There we go. Make it like this. All right. So we get rid of that old one, and then I can make this one a little bit bigger for you guys. There we go. And like that. There we go. That should be better on your guys' side. So if you're just joining us, thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys stopping in. We're going to be replaying the 1989 season, and we're going to be replaying it for Bo Jackson, one of my top 5 baseball players of all time, uh, even though he played for the Royals. So let's look at the first game here. Mark Grub, Rusi. Ah, man, I'm having trouble with this guy's name. Mike Grubices. Yeah, I'm just going to call him Mark. Let's try that. Let's take a look at Mark. So he's 15-11 with 3.04 ERA. You can see his stat line there. All right. So Lloyd Mosby against Mark G. We'll call him Mark G. All right, and away we go here in the 2000. I don't know how many times I'll say that. In the 1989 season, not the 2000 season. And away we go. Here we go. First pitch of the 1989 season is a 3-3, and it's a walk to Lloyd Mosby. Lloyd Mosby is got himself a walk. So one on right off the bat here. That brings up Rance Millikins. And there's 238 average. And the windup. And the pitch. It's a 5-3. And it's a 3-5. That's going to be ground ball hit to Stillwell. Stillwell over to White. White on to Brett. Ground ball double play, and they get out of it. The walk does not come back to hurt him. Mark Grubaiza, says Mark Forsberg. Thank you, Mark Forsberg. I appreciate that. Grubaiza. Grubaiza? Am I saying that right? Grubaiza? Gubiza? Gubiza or Grubaiza? I'm not sure. I'm sure it's one of those two, though. So double killing there in the top of the first inning. Tony Fernandez steps in. And it's a 5-4. Uh-oh, possible home run. It does fall into the 1-5 category. Tony Fernandez, 1-8. He's got himself a home run to start off the season. It is an 18. No home run. In fact, he does get a single, though. Grubaiza. Mark Grubaiza. I'm going to go with that. 2-6. And George Bell is up. 3-1. It's going to be a pop-up. Hit to White at the edge of the track. Makes the catch. And the 2 hits. 1 hit, no runs, and no errors for Toronto in the top of the first. So we didn't introduce the lineups very well. I apologize for that. I guess I should have done that. Lloyd Mosby, Rance Mullikins, Tony Fernandez, George Bell, Fred McGriff, Junior Felix, Ernie White, Nelson Lariano, and Manny Lee. And pitching today for Toronto, Jimmy Key. These will be historic lineups throughout this series, except for Junior Felix, for whatever reason, whoever started this game for Toronto at right field wasn't carded or wasn't on the team. So Junior Felix gets a start, even though he didn't. But ours is historic lineups. Willie Nelson in center, Kevin Stizer in third base, George Brett at first, Danny Tartanbull right field, Pat Tabler is the DH, Bo Jackson in left, Pat Boone in center, Frank White at second, and Kirk Stillwell shortstop. And then pitching, Mark Grubaiza. I'm going to go with that. All right, Jimmy Key's out. Willie Nelson, obviously, no stats yet. We'll look throughout the series. We'll look at more of this information. I know a lot of simmers like to spend a lot of time going over the lineup and their stats and everything, but early in the season, obviously they don't have any stats right now. What I figured I would do is at the end of every month, so the end of April, May, June, July, August, and September, we'll have a little recap of the month and talk about where things lie with Bo Jackson and his team. So Willie Wilson's up for the Royals. Jimmy Key with the pitch, 3-6. Willie Wilson, 1-6. He's going to fly to Mosby in center field. One away. Due up now is Kevin Seitzer. And Jimmy Key with the pitch. 2-5 is a possible strikeout. No strikeout. Stitzer gets a hold of one and hits it to center field. Mosby races back and catches it. And George Brett. Everyone knows George, I hope. 1-3. That's a possible walk. No walk. Just outside his range. 3-4. That's a fly ball into right field. Felix catches that one. And we're on to the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. One complete. Fred McGriff. Wind up in the pitch. It's 6-5. Hit by pitch. Nope. Fred McGriff. 6-3 against the right-hander. It's going to be a ground ball. Hit to Brett. Brett backhands it and trots over unassisted to first base. One away. Junior Felix is up. Switch hitter, 41. Air and a ground ball possibility. 42. Nope, that's going to be a single into right field. And another hit for Toronto. No strategy. So one out. 1-2. Range play. 53 is going to be a ground ball. Hit to White. White makes his check. And it is going to be a 5. If it's higher than the runner on first base running, then force at second. If the roll is greater than runner at first base running. So Junior Felix base running is at 3. Roll. So he is going to be a force out at second, forced out. Fielder's choice. So two-way. I always have to double check these until I get back into the swing of this. Possible strikeout, and Lariano does strike out. So that's the end of the top of the second inning. Danny Tartanbowl, right fielder. That's a 2-5, and he's going to strike out. Brings up Pat Tabler. 61, a range play. And 62, that's going to be a single into right field. Possible steal here. And Felix, yes, he does. Steals that out of midair. Looked like it was going to drop in for a single. But Felix grabs it. Well, that brings up the man of the hour, Bo Jackson, for his first at-bat in the 1989 season. Gets a round of applause from the crowd. They can't wait to see what he does. I know you guys feel the same way. Here we go. Jimmy Key, Bo Jackson. 21. That's a blank. That means we get to roll on Bo Jackson's card. 51 against the left-hander. Guess what? Bam! Bo Jackson gets a single. First time up. Look at that. Cheering. Max Cornelius says cheering. That's right. Bo Jackson. Singles. He's batting 1,000 on the ceiling. And look! They want us to steal, so we're going for steal. Oh, they roll a 20. And Bo Jackson's thrown out. Thrown out on the steal. So let's see. How do I mark that down? Stolen base, caught stealing. There we go. So Bo Jackson gets a crowd up off their chairs, cheering him. He decides to take off for second base. and gets nabs caught stealing. Well, more importantly, first hit of the game for the Royals. Top of 3, still no score. Manny Lee's up. 43, possible wild pitch. Nobody's on, so it doesn't matter. Roll again. 23, possible walk. No walk. 42, that's going to be a ground ball. Hit to Stillwell. Over to Brett. 1 away. Lloyd Mosby. 55 against the lefty is a blank. And 62 is going to be a ground ball back to Gubaza, who flips it over to Brett at first for a second out. Brings up Rance Mullikins, 63. And 64. And that one's going to fall in between Wilson and Turner ball and roll all the way to the wall for a double. So 2-out double there. Tony Fernandez waits on the pitch. Here it comes. 1-6 and no strikeout. 51. He's going to fly out to Tartan ball in right field. And the double goes for naught. Bottom of 3. Jimmy Key against Bob Boone. 21 and 41. That's going to be a fly ball into Mosby in center field. Frank White's up. 1-1. And 36. Fly ball to Mosby. So 2-away quickly here. 53 and a 41. Fly ball over to Bell in left field. And another 1-2-3 inning as Royals cannot get anything going here. George Bell, left fielder. 41. Error on a ground ball possibility. 56. It is a ground ball. Stillwell is a 1-8 and will be an error. It's a 17, no error. Stillwell picks it up, throws to Brett in time. 1 away. Fred McGriff 0 for 1. 65 hit by pitch. Nope. And 51, that's going to be a ground ball hit to Stitzer. Is it Stitzer or Stizer? Stitzer or Stizer? Anyways, he gets it, throws it to Brett. I don't know about some of these range numbers for Kansas City. We got a range of 2, a range of 1, a range of 2, a range of 1, and then Bo Jackson only has a range of 2. Wow. I'd have to question that one. I would think he would have a better range than 2. 2-6. This is Junior Felix, who is 1 for 1. 1-3, and this time it's going to be a ground ball hit to White. White over to Brett, and that's going to end the inning. So only 4 hits in the game so far. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jimmy Key against Willie Wilson 0 for 1. Willie Wilson, the switch hitter, 6'6". He's going to line that one right at Lee and snags it out of the air for the first out. Kevin Steitzer. 3-2. And a 2-5. Ground ball hit to McGriff. 2-A for George Brett. 4-3. And George Brett swinging and missing on the pitch. And after 4 complete, the Kansas City Royals have 1 hit to their name. And that happens to be Bo Jackson's hit. All right, Mark Grubaza against Ernie Witt, 0-4-1, 4-5. We got a Kauffman Stadium. We haven't actually looked at Kauffman Stadium. It's +1 on strikeouts, -1 on walks, and -2 on home runs. 3-4. That's going to be a ground ball hit to Stizer for the out. I'll take that. Nelson Lariano, 3-5, and Lariano strikes out. Gubaza's second strikeout. Manny Lee 0-1, and strikes out. So 2 of the 3 batters strike out. Danny Tartanbull, right fielder, 63 and 32. He's got himself a single in center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So that's going to fall in for a base hit. So we do have a strategy to pick off. He does have a pickoff number, so we're going to try and see if we get the pickoff. It is a 4. So 2-5 is a pickoff. And look at that. Roll 1d20, pitcher, range, bonk, pickoff 2-5. So I'm not sure why it shows as red, but that should be a pickoff. Picks him off first base. Yeah, it should be a pickoff. All right. Wait. Picked off at first. There we go. So Tartanbull gets a little too far off the bag. Gets picked off. So that brings up Pat Tabler. So far, the Kansas City Royals in 1989 have had 2 hits. Bo Jackson got a hit and then was caught stealing. And then Danny Tartanbull got a hit and then was picked off at first base. So maybe they should just let their players sit there and wait for the next hitter. Hit by pitch, nope. Pat Tabler, 0-1, 42. Oh, I'm sorry, 42 down here. So that's a fly ball into left field. And here comes the man of the hour, Bo Jackson, batting 1,000 on the season, 1-for-1 with a single. Jimmy Key, 1-3, walk, no walk. Second time in a row we get to roll on Bo Jackson's card, 24-2-4. And look at that, Bo Jackson's 2-for-2 with another single. Bo Jackson getting the crowd off their feet again. And look, they got another steal attempt. We're going for it. This time he's in there safe. Stolen base. Bo Jackson moves to second. Gets a waves to the crowd. Wipes the dirt off his pants there. Cheering on Bob Boone here. Needs a base hit. It's a 2-2. Error and a ground ball possibility. 61. That's going to be a single. Look at that, Bo Jackson's run, 5. If he got a 5 or 6, he goes second to home, and guess what just happened, folks? Bo Jackson goes all the way around and scores from second base on the base hit. And just like that, the Royals take a 1-0 lead. Bo Jackson manufacturing a run for the team. It's only fitting that he would score the first run for the Royals here, since we're doing a replay in his honor. 61 range play. Look how much better Toronto's range. 3-2-4, 3-5-3-4. 2-2 is going to be ground ball to short. Fernandez is a 5, and he's going to make a backhand scoop, throw on to first, and that's going to end the inning. But 1 run on 3 hits and a stolen base to Bo Jackson. Royals take a 1-0 lead going into the top of the 6th inning. Mark Gubaza still out there, 2-1, and still striking people out. That is his 4th strikeout. Rans Mullikins 1 for 2 with a double. 36 and 31. He gets a single. So Rance Mulligans goes 2 for 3 on the day so far. No strategy. Tony Fernandez, 45. And this is going to be a ballpark check. That's a 42. And that's going to be a single into left field. And he's not going first to third, just holds up there as Tartan Ball races in, keeps him to a single. So runners at first and second, 1 out for George Bell. Hey guys, Glenn says, how you doing, Glenn? Good to have you aboard. Thanks for stopping out. We are doing a replay here of the 1989 Kansas City Royals. We're going to be focusing in, obviously, on Bo Jackson, his best season in the major leagues, and we're going to see how he does here and see if he can inspire his team on. A little known fact for you guys, because I've been doing some research. That's right, I actually do some research ahead of time. For those of you who know this, Kansas City ended up having a record of, let's look at this. Let's go back to, let's go back. Here we are. So here's the 1989 season. In the East, Toronto, Baltimore, Boston, Milwaukee, the Yankees, Cleveland, and Detroit. In the West, it was Oakland, Kansas City, California, Texas, Minnesota, Seattle, and the White Sox. Unfortunately for the Royals, they had a record of 92 and 70, came in second place in their division, but did not make the playoffs because back in 1989 there was no wild card. They had the third best record in the whole National Baseball League, major leagues. They had the third best record and did not make it into the playoffs or the postseason. So yeah, tough sledding. But we're going to try and see if we can do better than they did in real life here. And we want to see, kind of relive some of Bo Jackson's best moments here. I'm going to have some highlights for you guys in some of the games he played, some of the amazing plays. We're going to talk about it. Anybody out there? I know we got quite a few viewers right now, but anybody realize that Bo Jackson, I think he was a 4th-round pick for the Kansas City Royals. But anybody know what round he was picked by the Raiders when he got picked by the Raiders? Anybody remember that off the top of their head? If you don't know, I'll give you a few seconds to catch up on the chat and see if anybody remembers what round Bo Jackson was taken in. So what are we doing here? We are doing first and second. We rolled I don't think we rolled yet, right? Okay, so first and second, we got 1 out. It's a 1-3, and striking him out there, Mark Gubaiza coming through with the big strikeout. So 2-way here, runners at second and first. Rance Mulligans at second, Tony Fernandez at first, and 2 up, Fred McGriff, 2-3, and that's going to walk the bases loaded here in the top of the 6th inning. Anybody remember what round the Raiders took Bo Jackson in the NFL draft? I'll tell you guys here in a second if you don't know, but figured somebody out there might know. 52. Possible error check here. Junior Felix. 1-4. That's going to be to Stillwell. 1-8 is the error check. No error on the play. Stillwell picks it up, throws to first in time. George Brett stretches out, makes the play. Inning over with bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. So for you guys that don't remember, Bo Jackson was taken in the 7th round Yes, that's right. The seventh round. Hard to believe now, guys. Really? The seventh round, he was taken by the Raiders. And let's see, what's his fifth? Al Davis said afterwards the only reason he took him was he wanted to be the first team in um, in the NFL to have a player that played for both baseball and football. That was the only reason he took him. Because remember, back in the day, they had Marcus Allen, they had a couple other good running backs, but he only took him so that he would have the first player that played in baseball and also play professional football as well. And he was taken in the seventh round, so every team had six, at least minimum six chances to take Bo Jackson. And nobody took him until the seventh round. Anyways, a little bit of tidbit I thought I would share with you guys. Jimmy Key, left-hander, comes back out here in the bottom of the sixth inning, facing Kurt Stillwell. 1-0 Royals, 1-6. Kurt Stillwell 0 for 1, 51 against the lefty. That's going to fall in for a single. Rolls past Lee into right field. And we're going to do a little hit and run action here with Willie Wilson. Hit and run. That's a 3-4. Uh-oh, this could be bad. 3-4. No strikeout, though. Okay. So he doesn't strike out at least. Fortunately, we had a high dice roll there. 31. That's going to be a question mark 9. The roll is a 3. I'm sorry, a 3. It's a 13. 13 is going to be a triple. So Willie Wilson comes through with the triple all the way in the corner. Felix can't track it down. It rolls, bounces off the wall through the dirt. Finally gets a grip on it. Willie Wilson slides in to third base with the triple. And the first triple of the season, and that pads another run aboard. Still nobody out, runner at third. And coming up is Kevin Sizer. He's 0 for 2 on the day. 41. Error and a throw possibility. And 35. That's going to be a single. Single pass Fernandez. Cannot reach that one. No error on Fernandez, though. And that's going to score a run. And the Royals take a 3-0 lead. Oh, and we got another steal attempt here by Kevin Seitzer. Waits for the pitch. Here it comes. He's going, and in there safe with the stolen base. So 2 stolen bases off of Key here. Jimmy Key still going strong. He's got 4 more strength points left before he has to worry about getting taken out. He's given up a couple runs. We'll see what happens. I don't know if we're going to pull him early or not. 66 is a walk. No walk. George Brett. 45. That's going to be a ground ball hit to Lee. And Lee is... So if it's hit to second, runner is going to advance. So advance. Out at first. So Kevin Seitzer goes to third on the ground out. Brings up Danny Tartanbull, 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Glenn says inside pitch is one of my top 3 games. So what do you like? What do you like about inside pitch, Glenn? Let me know in the chat. What's your favorite thing before I talk about what I like about it? Due up, Danny Tartanbull, 4-6. That's going to be a nothing. 1-2. That's going to be a single. Down the line, Mullikins can't stretch and make it. Dives cannot make it. Run's going to score. And coming home on the play is Steitzer. And going into first is going to be Tartanbull. That brings up Pat Tabler. I think they're going to pull Jimmy Key. That's about it for Jimmy Key here. So we got, let's see, one, two, three, four righties in a row coming up. So we're going to be pulling Jimmy Key here. Bringing in a right-hander. Somebody we actually have. It's got to get at least 2 innings out of him. Um, let's see here. Frank Willis. Yeah, we'll go with Frank Willis. That's Wills. Maybe it's Wills. Uh, Frank Wills. I think it's back to game. So Frank Wills is coming in. Willis. No, it is Willis. I couldn't see. Sometimes I like the pitcher batter interaction, the strategy roles, and the ballpark effects. Lots of seasons also. Glenn has nailed it on the head. I think I couldn't have said it any better myself. The pitcher batter interaction is probably, in my opinion, one of the strongest in all of the different games out there. I love it. I loved it since the first time I saw it, and I just think it's beautifully well designed and done. It's not a 50-50 split. Um, it's just a beautiful ballet of can you get through the pitcher to roll on your batter's cards or, you know. And then the fact that you also have ballpark effects, you got range checks, you have error checks all the time, you have unusual plays. There's a lot to the game. Lot to the game. So couldn't have said it any better myself. So thanks, Frank Willis. Runner at first, 1 out for Pat Tabler, 3-5. And he's going to walk on 4 pitches there. And uh-oh, look at what happened there. So the itinerant hobbyist is in the house. Everyone say hello. Thank you very much. So, guys, if you're liking sports sims and you enjoy what we do on our channel and some of the other channels, just to let everyone know out there, Itinerant Hobbyist has got a new Stratomatic replay up on his site there. So check it out. I'll spell his name for you guys. It's ITINERANTHOBBYIST. Itinerant Hobbyist. All one word, no space or anything. Check it out if you like sports action. We got another sports simmer out there. Also does war games as well. So if you like war games, enjoy war games, he's got a pretty cool channel. He does a good job there. I went and subscribed myself. So definitely, guys, check it out. And give him your support as well. He does live streams, so when he's live streaming, definitely check out what he's doing as well. So if you guys know of other simmers out there and you want to know about them, let me know, and then I'll pass his information on. Of course, you can link to him from my channel as well. So we're a growing community and we're a great community. So I just want everyone to know about him out there and support him because, he could use the help, he could use his subs, he could use his support, like we all can. So we got to support one another. So we got 2 runners on, we have 1 out, and guess who's up? Bo Jackson, 2 for 2, 2 singles on the day. What do you think he's going to do this time? Well, let's find out. Frank Wills has come in to face off against Bo Jackson, 2 for 2 on the season, 6-3, and that is a wild pitch. Runners are going to advance on the wild pitch. I-10 EU on itinerant. Is that itinerant? Is that what I'm itinerant? Itinerant? Hobbyist? Is I'm saying that right now? Itinerant? Thanks for good channels. Lots of good channels. No Jackson. Oh yeah, Bo knows baseball. Itinerant. Okay. I apologize for saying your name incorrectly. It's the itinerant hobbyist. Sorry. Itinerant. I'll try and remember that. If I say it wrong, I'm just terrible with names. I'm just terrible. All right, so Bo Jackson comes up. Wild pitch there by Frank Wills as he's facing off against Bo Jackson. Throws it wildly, and runners move up on the play. Wind up in the pitch. Itinerant. I'm going to keep saying it to myself. And this time, Bo Jackson strikes out. He was number one strikeout king in 1989. Oh well, not this time. That brings up Bob Boone. Two-way now, 1-4. And Bob Boone strikes out. So Frank Wills gets out of the jam there in the bottom of the sixth inning, but it's still 4-0 for your Kansas City Royals. Mark Grubaka. I gotta scroll back up and see how to say his name again. Grubaza. Mark Grubaza. Doing a good job. He's got still 5 strength left. Plenty to go. He's facing off against Ernie Witt, 0 for 2 on the day. 64 and nothing. Against the left-handed Witt, 1-4. It's going to be a ground ball hit back to Gubaza. Scoops it up and flips it to Brett in time. 1 away. Brings up Nelson Lariano 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts on the day. Not having a good day. Another switch hitter. 4-4. And against the right-hander, that's going to be a fly ball. It's going out to Tartanbull. Tartanbull races back to the warning track, makes the catch, 2-way. Itinerant hobbyist. I'm going to keep saying that because otherwise I'll forget. I apologize. Manny Lee is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Itinerant. Center field, and that's going to end. We're going into the 7th inning stretch, folks. Make sure you're stretching at home. Itinerant. I got it now, he says. All right. Bottom of the 7th inning stretch. Here we go. 4-0 Royals. And Frank White 0 for 2, 2-5. We got a Kauffman Stadium check. 61, this can be a ground ball hit to Fernandez. Scoops it up, throws to McGriff, 1 away. That brings up Kirk Stillwell, 1 for 2. And he's going to walk on 4 straight pitches. Frank Wills. We do have a sacrifice here for Willie Wilson. With nobody out, with 1 out, sacrifice? The top of the order? No, I'm going to disregard that. Doesn't make much sense. 51. Well, range play. Let's see what the range play's got. 33. That's going to be a fly ball hit to Felix out there. And makes the play. So 2 away. Maybe I should have sacrificed. Frank Wills against Kevin Seitzer. Last time up, got himself a single. He's batting 1 for 3 on the day. 42. That's going to be another walk. So runners at first and second for George Brett. Got to give George Brett some due here. He's kind of, and we got a steal attempt here. But with runners at first and second again, I'm going to kind of ignore that. 64 against the lefties, a blank. George Brett waits on the good pitch. He gets one. 4-4, and that's going to be a fly ball into center field. That's going to end the threat here in the 7th inning. Going on to the 8th inning, 4-0 for the Royals. Itinerant Hobbyist, folks. Check out his channel. Lloyd Mosby, top of the order, coming up. 3-3 and no walk. 6-6, that's going to be a ground ball. Hit to Brett. Brett takes it to first unassisted. Rance Mullikins. He's 2 for 3 with a double. 3-4. This time he goes down on a 3-2 pitch. Low and inside, but it worked. Tony Fernandez is also 2 for 3. 63. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th, 31. And that's going to be a single. And that's going to do it for Mark. We're going to replace Mark Gubaik. Oops, wrong one. Who do we have coming up? We have a righty, a lefty, a switch hitter, and a lefty. Actually, you know what? If he can get through the right hand, last righty, then we can put a left-hander in to face off against the lefty. So we're going to actually leave him in there and see if we can get through this last right-hander. 2-5. Error on a throw possibility. George Bell is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. 46. Nope, he's singled. Bo Jackson, no error on Bo. No, Bo don't know no errors. Let's see. If roll is less than or equal to the base running, then runner advances 2, and that's going to advance on the single. So runners on the corners, and that will be it for Mark Grubaiza. So we got, what do we have? Some lefties coming up, right? So we need a lefty. Ooh, we don't have very many good lefties in the pen. We only have 3 lefties. Jerry Gleaton, Charlie Liebrant, and Bob Buchanan. And he's only made it in 2 games. He only made it in 6 games. He only made it in 15 games. So I guess we'll take him. Jerry Gleaton. So Jerry Gleaton, the left-hander, coming in to face off against Fred McGriff. 43. Runners at the corners, 2 away. 4-4, and a single into center field. That's going to score a run, and advancing to third on the single is going to be George Bell. And runners at the corners, 1 run in, still 2 outs for Junior Felix. Switch hitting, so he's going to be batting from the right side this time. 1-6, and this time they swing is at a bad pitch in the dirt. And that's going to end the inning, but they do get on the board. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. After 7.5 complete, 4-1 Royals. Right, Frank Wills. He's a righty. Right. 4 righties in a row. 4 righties. So, yeah, might as well leave him in and see how he does here. Danny Tartenbull, 3-6. And he's going to strike out. That'll be his 3rd strikeout for Wills. Pat Tabler, DH, 0 for 2 with a walk. Error on a ground ball possibility. 45. That's going to be a fly ball to Mosby, center field. And that brings up, that's it, Bo Jackson, 2 for 3 on the season with a strikeout, scored a run, batting .667. Probably won't last long, but we'll see. 1-5. Oh, it's a blank. And interesting enough, every single time I think we got to roll on his card. That's great. Let's see what we get. 64. Oh, look at that. Right between a question mark 9 and a single. We hit the ground ball to Lee, and that's going to end it for the 8th inning. Top of 9, 4-1. Ernie Witt, Nelson Ariano, Manny Lee due up. Jerry Gleaton, left-hander. He's going to face off against Ernie Witt. 55, hit by pitch. Nope. 61 against the lefty is going to be a fly ball into left field. Bo Jackson running after it makes a great defensive play there. One away. All right, now we got 2 switch hitters and then 2 more lefties. Boy. But I think it's time to, oops, wrong one again. Jerry Gleaton's done. We're going to bring in somebody a little bit, we're going to bring in Jeff Montgomery. Jeff Montgomery's stepping in. And the windup in the pitch. 24. This is going to be a Kauffman check. Kauffman Stadium, 1-6. Fly ball. Wilson drifts back. Plenty of room. Makes the catch 2-way. The Toronto Blue Jays down to their last out here. Jeff Montgomery trying to shut him down here. 3-4. And 41. It's going to be a ground ball. Hits to Sizer. Sizer backhand grabs, sets, throws, gets some. And there you go, folks. Kansas City starts off the season 1-0, defeating the Toronto Blue Jays 4-1. Let's check out our stats here. Anyone here aware of any tabletop sports podcasts? That's a good question. That's a great question. Is anyone here aware of any tabletop sports podcasts? There used to be a really good one that Steve, I forget his last name, Steve something or other. I forget his name. I'm so bad with names. Used to run, but he doesn't do it anymore. So I don't know of any tabletop sports podcasts out there. Maybe we should start up one. Maybe that would be a good idea. Let's save our game statistics. Thank you, and thank you. And let's check out the game stats here. Obviously, most importantly, let's check out Bo Jackson's stats. He was 2 for 4, scored a run, struck out, had a stolen base, and was also caught stealing one. And let's put this up a little bit higher so you guys can see it. There you go. The win goes to Mark Gubaiza. And Jeff Montgomery with the save. Jimmy Key takes the loss. 6.80 ERA. And Mark Gubaiza, 1.17 ERA. He threw 7 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Jerry Gleaton came in, got 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit and a strikeout. And Jeff Montgomery came in for 2/3 of an innings and didn't give up jack. That's the way we like it. That's the way we like to start off the season. And that's the way it will go here. So Kansas City early, 1-0 in the season. We're not going to be playing all the other teams. Unfortunately, Inside Pitch Baseball doesn't have any AI, so I can't sim any of the other games, which I'm kind of disappointed about. But I really, really wish they would add that into the system where you could autoplay some of the other games. Even if it just like randomly rolled another, 2 teams and rolled dice for them randomly or something. I don't know. They didn't even have to. Anyways. There you go. So that's going to be our project we're going to be working on. We got this project. We have our 2004 The Drive to Keep the Curse Alive replay of the 2004 New York Yankees. And now we got this project here. We're working on the 1989 Kansas City Royals to check out Bo Jackson in his MVP season. And then hopefully, if we get a chance, we'll go back to our 2016 Baltimore Orioles replay. I am 65 games into that, so I hate to give up on that now. It's been a while since I actually did it. We're using Replay Sports, or what are we using for that? Replay Sim or whatever. I don't know, whatever the name of it is. Anyways, so that's what we're going to be doing here. So you guys will be seeing lots of Bo Jackson, Kansas City 1989 games coming your way. Hopefully you guys will be able to stop out and check them out. The Itinerant Hobbyist. Don't forget to check out his channel. Max Cornelius. Don't forget to check out his channel. And let's see, who else am I forgetting out there? Usually forget about Glenn Peru, Mark Forsberg, Clinton Parks. Everyone else has stopped out tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great evening. Take care. And I think tomorrow we're going to try and have a double header, triple header, or something. We're going to try and get like, you know, quite a few games done here early. I mean, I can fly through these games, which is another good thing about it. Get through them pretty quickly. Even though I'm commentating and doing all this stuff, I can get them done in usually 20, 30 minutes. So within an hour, we can get 2 games done. So I like to get a couple double headers going. We'd have 5, 6 games in the season in one weekend. That would be great. Anyways, Bo Jackson, and let's change our desktop here. Where's our super cool thing that I made? Made something. Where'd it go? Oh, is this it? No, that's not it. I made a special. It's around here somewhere. I gotta find it. Hopefully I didn't delete it, because I deleted a bunch of crap that's been sitting on my desktop. Huh. Slide this. No, it's not it. Where's my... All right, I'm gonna minimize some of this stuff so I can look at my desktop. There it is. So we're going to set this as our desktop. There we go. There we go. All right. So you guys can't probably see that because I don't have the full desktop region. That's not any good. Let's try that one. There you go. That's probably a little better for you guys. So, Bo Jackson, 1989 MVP season replay for the Kansas City Royals. Hopefully you guys will enjoy watching this as much as I will bringing it to you guys. Anyways, thanks for stopping in, guys. Appreciate it. Check out all the channels we talked about. Itinerant Hobbyist. ITINERANT All right, we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Have a great evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.